Good evening everybody and welcome to Tea Talk, which I've decided to name my tea vlog. Basically, for those of you who haven't watched one of these videos yet, probably because it's only my second, this is where I want to go through teas of the world. But I'll explain that a little more in a minute. Today's tea of choice is, I figured I should probably do this one considering this is the most drunk tea in my, not family, but certainly in my house. It is Yorkshire Gold tea, and yeah, I figured as this one's the one that I drink daily, then I should probably do this one, have a feature of this one anyway. So I have my trusty loose leaf. It's just doing this simply so that I can see what's inside it. I want to sort of have a look at the tea as well. So I have my glass and I'm just going to have a little, it's very pretty, isn't it? It smells beautiful and strong. Here we go. I'm just going to pour some of this in. It's very fine, so I reckon it's going to leave a lot of sediment at the bottom. I remember if I told you a little bit about the three different sort of grades they give tea when they're processing it, and the fine, yeah, see, that's just all coming out once they've dried the ouch. I'm also going to do something up top, a whole one into my teapot, because that's the one I'll be drinking. This is just to have a look. When they sort the leaves after they've been dried and processed, the fine ones will go into tea bags, obviously, because they can't escape, and the medium ones go into sort of a tea bag with a slightly different bag, and obviously the larger granules and bits and leaf, flour and things like that go into loose leaf tea. So anyway, I am losing focus here. Never mind, I can be blurry. So as you can see, it's very different to the honeybush tea that we had last time. It is brewed much quicker, really quick actually. I think it says 2 to 3 minutes. So anyway, let me get back to why I wanted to do this tea. When I was visiting my mother in England last year, I went to Marks and Spencer's and had a cream tea, and they had the tea that tea in there was the best tea I've ever had, and it was Marks and Spencer's Gold. Unfortunately, my friend who came to visit and couldn't go to Marks and Spencer's for whatever reason, so he brought me these, probably because he's from Yorkshire and that's what he likes to drink, and you can't buy good tea bags in England. So yeah, being a Yorkshire Gold drinker, that's what he brought, but it's lovely. I really enjoy it, and it's very, when I drink it, it makes me think of home, it makes me think of England. I have to go and get a cup though, so I'll be back in a second. Ta-da! I'm going to use my Buff Orpington cup again. So, there are many different ways of preparing English tea. Some varieties have milk in, some varieties have lemon in. Obviously, of course, no tea is really English. It's not grown in England. However, because of our territory previously, it was obviously became the staple of English culture, and now we're seen as tea drinkers, which is very true. We drink a lot of tea, especially those in my family. So I want to just have a look and see. Nearly ready, I think it's been there 2 minutes. So, my mother is very particular about how she likes her tea, especially. She will not accept, she will not accept tea that's been made in a cup. She won't allow that whatsoever, which is why I think she buys me so many teapots to make sure that I have teapots, because quite often I'm lazy and I'll do mine in a cup. No, hers have to be brewed with a teapot and a tea cosy because she likes it very strong, so she lets hers steep for a lot longer, 5 to 6, 7 minutes. Milk and sugar always, or milk goes in first. She doesn't have sugar. Milk goes in first. So this varies. I usually have about a centimetre of milk on the bottom of my cup. So it's about a finger, I'd say. Yeah, finger of milk, and then you can add the tea. So you can see if it's brewed. Sorry if it's a bit loud. I would actually say that just needs a slight bit longer. It's looking a little bit too light. Just give it a stir. Better. And then I'm naughty and I like 2 teaspoons of sugar because I have a sweet tooth. And there we have it. It's still a bit too hot to drink. So as you can see from this one, it's now very strong and very sedimenty. Well, the problem with tea such as this, which usually English teas are Assam teas, they get very strong and bitter with too much brewing. So I wanted to read to you a little bit about Yorkshire tea from Taylors of Harrogate. Their appointment of the Prince of Wales. Harrogate's in North Yorkshire. I don't think I've ever been there, but I have been to Yorkshire. I shall read you the back. As every tea drinker knows, few things bring people together like a good brew. For us, that's just as true at the beginning of it all, in the gardens and estates where our teas are grown. The teas in our luxury blend come from quite a small number of suppliers, the world's very best when it comes to tea bags in fact. so over the years we've been able to visit them a lot, and because our tea buyers go in person, often even staying in our suppliers' homes, the relationships we build are very strong. But like a lot of friendships, what's really brought us together is a common purpose, producing the best tea we possibly can, whether it's carefully cultivating the much-loved multi-flavour of the finest Assams, striving to perfect the wonderful brightness of East African teas, or skillfully blending them together here in Harrogate. We all share a real commitment to quality. The result is a tea we love a great deal and hope you feel the same. Isn't that nice? Which brings me to a little story that I want to tell you about my ancestry. And it's not one I actually know a huge amount about. It's one that my mum knows a lot more on. My mum, I come from quite a sentimental family, I'd say, and we're all very whimsical and a little bit odd and special in our own ways. And my mum's big thing is our ancestral history. She is, I don't know how big our family tree is and where she's traced it back to. All over the place, I imagine. But what I've gathered from, the evenings where wine is flowing, usually over Christmas, she'll start speaking about Granny and Granny and Grandpa and things like that, and start telling us little stories about where we come from, basically. From my mum's side, my biological father I don't really know anything about, to be honest, so leave him out. So on mummy's side there was my great grandmother. She was like a New York socialite, and my grandfather, who was Scottish, and he invented something to do with the plane, some part for a plane. There's a book written about him. And then above that is my great grandparents on my Scottish grandfather's side, and they sold everything that the family had in Scotland, all of our land and everything, which was a lot. At that time, can't really tell you too much, otherwise it'll give away my surname. And then moved everything to Rhodesia, which is obviously now Zimbabwe, and we had a big tea plantation there. It's all before I was born, obviously. Big tea plantation there, and then as years went by, things started getting more and more difficult, and most of the family fled except for my great grandmother, who stayed there and lost everything, lost the whole plantation and all of the family's wealth. I think the only thing we got out was our silverware, which I believe my grandfather, no, I'm talking the wrong generation, it's 3 generations, like 3 grandparents ago, because yeah, my grandfather didn't go mad and give all the silver to the postman, but my great grandfather did. Yes, went mad and gave all of our silver to the postman, which is quite funny, really. All my family go mad in old age. Yeah, all of them. So I have that to look forward to. But anyway, tea. Yeah, lovely. So I suppose tea is quite a big part of the family. We've got, my mum's got photos and books, and it's quite a big tea plantation, which I think is quite cool. It's not enough for me to say I'm part Rhodesian or Zimbabwean, because there's no blood there whatsoever, like none. I don't even think they were there for a really long time. I think they were just there for 10 or so years. But it's a shame, isn't it? I'd love to know more about it, but I don't know, my mum's such a busy person that the only time she'll ever sit and talk to you about anything is when she's had her food to drink. Otherwise, you have to follow her around the house, because she's always sorting out her chickens and her cats and her vegetable garden and whatever painting or varnishing project she's doing. My mum's a very busy woman. She doesn't work because she's retired, but she works harder than most people, I think, just on her retirement. Yeah, Well, anyway, as a tea, I would highly suggest this. I don't know where you'd get it. The funny thing is, when I had a look on the internet to see if I could find any more information, which doesn't really tell us a huge amount, to be honest. The first things that did, it's really, really good. The first things that did pop up were companies that ship it to you, and I think the first three websites that popped up when I searched in Google were companies that would sell to France, would ship it to France. So you could probably find it on Amazon and things like that. But I definitely, if you like English tea and tea that you drink with milk and stuff like that, then I would definitely suggest this one. I think it's lovely, and I'd be interested when I do next get my Marks and Spencer's got, because I'd like to do a comparison. And of course, what would be even nicer was if I'd stop being so lazy with my baking and make some scones, put jam and cream on them, and have a Devonshire cream tea with Yorkshire tea. For those of you that don't know, that if you go down to Devon, that's the traditional thing that you get. It's sort of, I'd say that was fairly similar everywhere in England. It's all parts of England are famous for different things, or at least you go there and have different things. You go to Cornwall and you have a Cornish pasty. You go to Devon, you have a cream tea, Somerset cider, things like that. So it's the same here in France as well. In the region I live in, we're famous for, well, actually the area I live in is not really a producer of anything perfume. I live very close to where Grass, which I don't know if many of you have watched the movie Profumo with Alan Rickman. It's about the boy who can smell lots of things. It's a murderous tale. But yeah, I live very close to there, so up actually where my old house was, Chanel grew. The house in my previous videos from like last year. There were fields and fields and fields of roses and jasmine, and all those fields are owned by Chanel. So if you wear Chanel perfume, if they've got rose notes in there, they've all been it's been grown right next to my house. So yeah, so this area is like perfume and things like that, and then you've got rosé in the Provence and Bandol areas, and yeah, each department of France is famous for different things, which is really cool, I think. Very cool. But yeah, England the same on a smaller level. I really have waffled and rambled through this video, so I'm going to probably go and let you get on with your evenings. I need a new candle because my Jo Malone candle is now nearly gone, which is really, really sad because I love them, and I'm gonna have to wait for Christmas and birthdays because they're too expensive. Never mind. So yeah, good night.